Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Varsha Vaishali, founder of CHS, Cyber Harassment Support. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Today's topic is teenager safety, teen tech, and mental health. Today's session is specially meant because teens are growing up in a world where social media apps and online interactions can shape not only habits, but also confidence, self worth, and mental well being. We have two speakers today. One is Hitankshi and another is Sai Damini. So I will introduce both of them. First, let me introduce Ms. Damini Sahu. Our speaker is Damini Sahu. Damini recently completed her master's in organizational psychology from University of Liverpool in the UK. And before that, she also did her undergrad studies in psychology. What makes Damini's perspective more powerful is her dual experience. She has studied the psychology in human behavior academically, and she also has worked as a social media content creator, which means she understands social media from both the sides of the screen. She understands the mental health implications of social media, use engagement mechanisms that keeps users hooked, and real challenges teens face like pressure, comparison, cyberbullying, and privacy issues. Damini joins today from Michigan, USA. Please welcome Damini Sahu. And our second speaker is Hitankshi, my daughter. She's currently doing grade 9 at White Oak School, Oakville. Hitankshi is here to present Teen Voice, what it actually feels like for a young person today while using popular apps, navigating peer pressure, and protecting mental well-being online. Please welcome Hitankshi Dalai. And with that, I will be sharing the screen and passing the mic to both our speakers. Give me a moment. All right, over to you.
So, hello everyone, and welcome to the Teenage App Safety presentation. My name is Hitankshi, and I am going to be speaking along with Damini. First, I'm going to kick off this presentation with the table of contents. As you can see on the screen, these are all of the things we are going to be covering today. First, I'm going to introduce the topic, and then Damini is going to introduce the apps. Then I will be speaking about some red flags related to the apps and give practical solutions, and Damini is going to talk about the mental health aspect of the apps and give some solutions. And lastly, Damini is going to wrap up the presentation with a conclusion and a Q&A section. So let's get started. Firstly, I am going to introduce today's topic. Today's topic is on teenage app safety. Now, what is teenage app safety really about? Teenage app safety is teaching teenagers how to stay safe on the internet. And staying safe can look like not clicking on any links, thinking twice before posting or clicking on anything, and especially not oversharing online. But how many teenagers fall into trouble online? Is with interacting with people they don't know on popular social media platforms. Now, why is this really important? It is important because it not only affects the youth directly, but people around them. As I like to say, ideas bounce off of people to other people. For example, look at any trend you have seen this year. It started when one young teen saw it and shared it with others, such as their friends or even adults. Now, who gets affected by this topic? Of course, the teens, but also people around them. And when can dangers occur? Dangers can occur on any platforms. Think phones, tablets, computers, and anything else you use. Now, lastly, when can teenagers be harmed Exactly. When they don't take safe precautions online. Now, this is an obvious answer to anything. So, if teenagers don't stay safe online from the first moment they're online, then the risk of getting harmed is very, very high. But now I'll hand it over to Damini to talk about the apps.
Hello, let me give you a brief of the social media platforms that we are focusing on today. I'm sure you're familiar with some or all of these. These are the apps that are popular with teens nowadays. There's Discord, where gamers and communities connect. Then there is X, formerly known as Twitter, for real time news and updates. Instagram is the popular photo and video sharing giant. YouTube is where we watch everything from tutorials to entertainment. Roblox is a gaming platform where you can create and play. And then there's the app Twitch, the live streaming platform where millions watch gaming, creative content, and interact with streamers in real time. Snapchat is known for its disappearing messages, it's a messaging app. And TikTok, the short form video app that's taken the world by storm. Each of these platforms has unique features and unique risk. That's what makes this conversation so important. So now Hitankshi will be discussing the individual red flags and features of these apps.
Thank you, Damini, for introducing the apps. Now I'll be talking about what the apps are, briefly, and some dangers surrounding these popular apps. First, I'll cover Discord. Discord is a very well-known app released on May 13th, 2015. This is an app which allows anyone to talk to anyone, video call anyone, and allows someone to join groups of their desire with no real age verification. Now, some red flags are that when I say anyone can message anyone, I seriously mean anyone. You never know who it is you're receiving messages from or messaging because this app, along with most social media apps, allows anyone to be anonymous. Also, there is no real age verification and no censorship on vulgar content or hate speech. So someone who is young goes on this app, there is a high chance that they will experience hate speech and inappropriate language soon. Now here at the bottom, I have included some pictures of the Discord interface. As you can see on the bottom left, this is how it looks like if you were to call someone like a video call on Discord. Next slide, please. Now let's dive into the world of X, formerly Twitter. Twitter was released on July 15th, 2006 and later renamed X by Elon Musk in late July 2023. X is a social media app which allows people to communicate in real time with anyone. It also allows people to post public tweets which are messages anyone can post publicly along with photos or videos. This app also allows anyone to interact with anyone like I said before. Now, moving on to some dangers of this app is that there is a lot of hate speech, conspiracies, and just straight up racism and lies on this app. Because when anyone can post their thoughts, most people choose their negative thoughts. Additionally, there is a major risk around cyber safety on this app. For example, there are lots of fake accounts with names of real people whose only purpose is to take control of your device or have you click on a link to get a virus. And similar to Discord, I've included pictures of the user interface of X. The middle picture is a tweet and that's what it would look like. Next slide, please. Next, we're going to move on to Instagram. Instagram was first released on October 6, 2019. Now, as you all may know already, Instagram is a very visual app where one can post videos, comments, or videos on public. Furthermore, this app, similar to the others I've already covered, allows the user to directly message anyone, also known as DMing. DM stands for direct messaging, and when the creator is allowed to message anyone, I mean anyone. The risk around cyber safety increases that way. For example, lots of minors get harassed through their DMs by older men who are following them. Also, the risk of people DMing younger people are increased because Instagram does not have a concrete way of verifying age. What I mean is that young teens can easily lie about their age and go on this app. At the bottom, I've included some pictures of the user interface of Instagram. And as you can see just from these pictures, this is a very colorful and visually focused app which draws a lot of young teens in. Next slide, please. Now we are going to move on to the most popular and well-known app, which is YouTube. YouTube was released on April 23rd, 2005. YouTube is an entertainment app where you can make and watch videos, and it is the #1 platform for sharing videos and spreading creativity. Now, some dangers of this app, however, are that there is no way to verify one's age, and if kids do even do that, they can very easily lie. Also, on YouTube Kids, there is something called ElsaGate videos. There are videos which seem kid-friendly and innocent, but they're highly inappropriate, and it is very easy way for the creator of those videos to make money off of the kids that are watching their videos. They have popular kid characters like Elsa or Spider-Man in inappropriate situations. At the bottom, you can see how the interface of YouTube looks like if you are not familiar. Next slide, please. Now let's move on to Roblox. Roblox was released on September 1st, 2006. Roblox is a popular gaming site for young children. Typically, children from 6 to 15 are on this app. On this app, it allows kids to make their games or play their own games. Now, Roblox isn't a game itself. It's a platform that allows people to play other games inside of Roblox and allows the students to create their games. The games range from simple murder mysteries to more simpler games like Dress to Impress, which is a very popular game on this app. In these games, children can often talk to other kids and friend them, similar to Snapchat or Discord. Now moving on to some of the red flags of this app. A major danger for young teens is that often what happens is that older men enter the app and try to talk to younger kids and get their personal information, like their home address, phone number of their parents, or credit card information of their parents. This is very easy for them to do so, as Roblox has avatars which you can customize to look nothing like your real self, so young kids friend the older men and fall into their traps. Also, certain games have age restrictions on them from Roblox, but the games themselves still expose young kids to blood, gore, and sometimes swearing and more. On the bottom are pictures of the Roblox interface. On the left, as you can see, is a section where Roblox allows kids to friend anyone and send or accept friend requests. And the picture in the middle you can see is a chat box where anyone can type their thoughts and interact with other people. Next slide. Next, we move on to a lesser-known app called Twitch. Twitch was released in June 2011. This app allows anyone to go live and play games and interact with their followers. Often people can find their favorite YouTubers on this app, as it's really easy to make more money this way and connect with your audience. This app allows people to also donate money to the people who are streaming and watch people's streams and comment. Typically, you would see older teenagers on this app, around 16 to 20 would be the range, and it's not well known among young teens. Now let's dive into some red flags for this particular app. This app doesn't have a concrete wall blocking teens from entering the app. From teens, I mean young teens, like 14 to 15. What I mean is that it's really easy for young teens to pass the age verification test by simply lying and watching any stream they want. To add, most of the streams and streamers swear, do inappropriate things, and often play inappropriate games on this site, aiming for an older audience. For example, a really popular Twitch streamer Pokimane, has a large young female teen following when her streams are filled with swearing and certain inappropriate and rude gestures. But now, at the bottom, as you can see, I've included pictures of the user interface, and as you can see, it is also a very visually focused app with lots of direct interaction from the audience and the viewers. Next slide, please. Next, we will be talking about an app which is most likely on every young teen's phones nowadays, Snapchat. Snapchat was released in September 2011. It's an app which allows you to talk to your friends, interact with strangers, and watch shorts. But it mainly focuses on talking to your friends and interacting with strangers online. Now, jumping right into the red flags of this app are risks of getting your personal information leaked when you interact with strangers. Now, I'm aware that Snapchat has a feature where the messages disappear within 24 hours, but the people on the other end could easily screenshot one's personal messages, pictures, and more. Also, this feature of interacting with strangers on the app increases the risk of crimes targeting the user like cyberbullying, extortion, and more. At the bottom, you can see a picture of the interface of this app, and on the left, you can see what it looks like to send a snap, which is essentially a picture, and what the homepage looks like for a Snapchat, which is in the right. Next slide. Now we are going to move on to an app which has taken the world by storm, TikTok. TikTok was released in September 2016 and blew up during the pandemic in 2020. Everyone loved the idea of sharing and viewing short-form content. TikTok allows the user to view short-form content from creators and make short-form content as well, and is a very visually focused platform with a dedicated algorithm for each and every user on this platform. However, this app is targeted to young teens and exposes them to hate speech, hateful acts and comments, verbal harassment, and cyberbullying through comments, direct texts, and videos. Additionally, a young teen might by accident be doxing themselves or sharing too much about themselves on this app through videos or posts, making them vulnerable to cybercrimes. Also, through this app is though this app is targeted to kids, it has a lot of inappropriate content in the form of videos, messages through fake accounts, and older men often targeting young kids on this app. Now at the bottom, I have included pictures of this app, and by a single glance, obviously, you can probably already know that it is a very visually focused app which grabs children's attention very well. Now I'm going to hand it over to Damini to talk about the impacts.
Thank you, Hitankshi. So now I'll be talking about the impact of the social media apps that affect nearly every teenager in this room. But we are just not going to discuss how much time you spend scrolling through TikTok or Instagram. We are going to dive deeper into the hidden risk that many teens and parents don't fully understand. We will explore how this risk impact mental health and what we can do about them. So let's start with risk number one, which is cyberbullying. Unlike traditional bullying that might end when you leave school, cyberbullying follows you home. It's on your phone, your laptop, in your DMs. It can be anonymous, it can happen 24 by 7, and it can feel inescapable. Cyberbullying takes many forms. On Instagram and TikTok, it might be cruel comments on your post, body shaming, or being deliberately excluded from group conversations. On Discord and Roblox, you might face harassment in gaming chats, coordinated hate raids where groups target individuals, or even threats of doxing, which is where someone threatens to reveal your personal information online. Snapchat's disappearing messages creates a false sense of security because screenshots can be taken and shared publicly, turning private conversations into public humiliation. And on X, cyberbullying often takes the form of public callouts or pile-ons where dozens or even hundreds of people gang up on one person. The key thing to understand is that cyberbullying isn't just being mean online, it's a form of harassment that can have serious psychological consequences. Next slide, please. Now, if you're wondering why some people might even engage in bullying others, then here are several psychological and social reasons for this. First is anonymity. Being hidden behind a screen lowers empathy and reduces fear of consequences, making harmful behavior feel safe or detached from its consequences. Second is disinhibition. Online environments can make people say things they did never say in person because they feel less accountable. Projection, where individuals dealing with stress, insecurity, or low self esteem may project their own negative feelings onto others. Fourth is need for power or control, where harassing someone can give the bully a temporary sense of dominance or significance, especially if they feel powerless in real life. Then there's emotional dysregulation. People who struggle to manage anger, jealousy, or frustration may lash out impulsively online. And the last is lack of immediate feedback, which basically means that without seeing the victim's reaction in real life, it's easier for people to ignore the emotional harm they cause online. These factors don't excuse the behavior, but they help explain why it happens and why it can be so persistent online. Next slide, please. The second hidden risk is social pressure, and this one is incredibly pervasive. Social media creates what we call the comparison trap. Think about it. You open Instagram and see perfectly curated photos, people with flawless skin, amazing bodies, exciting lives. You scroll through TikTok and see beauty standards that seem impossible to achieve. You watch YouTube influencers with seemingly perfect lives. But here's what you don't see: the filters, the editings, the dozens of photos taken before getting that perfect shot, the real struggles these people face. This creates appearance pressure. Teens feeling like they need to look a certain way to be accepted. There's also performance pressure. Your worth becomes tied to likes, views, and followers. When your post doesn't get enough likes, it can feel like a personal rejection. Then there's FOMO, fear of missing out. Snapchat streaks make you feel like you have to respond constantly or risk losing a friendship. Instagram and TikTok stories show you everything that you weren't invited to. This creates constant anxiety and being left out. And in gaming spaces like Roblox and Discord, there's pressure to spend money on in game purchases or maintain a certain status among your gaming friends. The algorithms on these platforms make it worse. They are designed to show you content that gets engagement, which often means showing you the most extreme, most perfect, and most unrealistic content out there. Next slide, please. So, what's the mental health impact of all this social pressure? Constant comparison, seeing idealized images and perfect lives triggers self doubt and lowers self esteem, leading to negative body image and feelings of inadequacy. Then there's validation dependence. When likes and views becomes a measure of worth, it can create anxiety and make mood depend on online feedback. Social anxiety is the pressure to look good, respond quickly, and stay relevant that can heighten anxiety about judgment or rejection. Then there's perfectionism. Trying to match unrealistic standards can create chronic stress, burnout, and a sense of never being good enough. Then this is common in teens, which is identity confusions. Teens may feel pressure to act or look a certain way online, which can conflict with their real identity and lead to emotional strain. Overall, these pressures can affect mood, self image, and overall mental well being. Next slide, please. Now let's talk about privacy, something most teens don't think about until it's too late. Every single app we have discussed collects massive amounts of data about you: your location, your browsing history, who you talk to, what you say, even your voice and face data in some cases. This creates several serious risks. Identity theft is one. When your personal information gets into the wrong hands. Then there's targeted advertising. Companies knowing extremely personal details about you to manipulate what you buy. There's also the risk of predatory behavior. Strangers using your information to find or contact you inappropriately. And data breaches happen regularly, where millions of people's information is exposed. Let's look at specific platforms. TikTok collects an enormous amounts of data, and its algorithm learns incredibly detailed information about your interests, habits, and behaviors. Snapchat's Snap Map feature shows your exact location to your friends and potentially to strangers if your settings aren't right. Discord and Roblox present stranger danger in a new form. You're chatting with people you don't know in real life, and it's easy to accidentally share personal information that seems harmless at first but could be used to identify or locate you. The bottom line: once something is online, you have lost control over it. That's why privacy matters so much. Next slide, please. This brings us to what might be the most important part of this presentation, how all of these risks affect mental health. The research on this is clear and concerning. There are three major mental health impacts we are seeing across the board. First, anxiety. Teens are experiencing increased anxiety from fear of judgment, constant notifications, creating stress, and endless social comparison. You might feel anxious when you haven't checked your phone or when you post something and wait to see how people will react. Second, depression. Social media use is linked to lower self esteem, feelings of isolation, even when you're technically connected to hundreds of people online, and the trauma that comes from cyberbullying experiences. Third, sleep issues. Late night scrolling has become the new norm for many teens. Blue light from screens disrupts your natural sleep cycle, and FOMO makes it hard to put the phone down and actually rest. Here's what happens. You seek validation online, maybe through posting a photo or video. When you don't get the response you hoped for, you feel disappointed. This lowers your self esteem, so you go back to social media seeking that validation again, and the cycle repeats. It's called the validation loop, and it's incredibly hard to break. Research published in JAMA Psychiatry and highlighted in the 2023 US Surgeon General's advisory shows that teens who spend 3 or more hours daily on social media have double the risk of experiencing mental health issues compared to those who spend less time online. Yale Medicine confirms this finding, specifically noting the research studied American teens ages 12 to 15. Social media may not have created mental health issues, but it has amplified them and created new challenges that previous generations probably didn't face. Next slide, please. Now, I want to talk about something that just happened that's making headlines around the world. On December 10th, 2025, just 3 days ago, Australia became the first country in the world to ban social media for children under 16 years old. This is groundbreaking legislation. The ban applies to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, X, YouTube, and Reddit. However, there are exemptions from messaging apps like WhatsApp, educational platforms like Google Classroom, and safety resources like Kids Helpline. Here's what makes this particularly interesting. Platforms that don't comply face fines up to $50 million, but there are no penalties for teens or parents who try to bypass the ban. The responsibility falls entirely on the tech companies, not on families. Next slide. So, why did Australia take this dramatic step? They were facing a crisis. Suicide and self-harm rates among Australian teens have been rising. Studies shows that 84% of children aged 8 to 12 were using social media despite most platforms having a minimum age of 13. And 95% of parents reported that online safety was a major challenge. There's been a passionate debate about this ban. Supporters argue it protects children during critical developmental years and gives parents peace of mind. They say kids' brains are still developing and they are not equipped to handle the psychological manipulation of social media algorithms. Critiques worry that the ban may be difficult to enforce and it could actually push kids towards less safe or less monitored platforms and raise privacy concerns about age verification. Some argue it's too blunt an instrument and that we should focus on making platforms safer rather than banning them entirely. Sorry. Regardless of where you stand, this is just the beginning. New Zealand, Malaysia, and Denmark are all watching closely and considering similar legislation. This could be the start of a global movement to protect young people online. Next slide, please. Whether you are a teen monitoring your own mental health, or a friend watching out for someone else, or a parent concerned about your child, there are red flags that indicate someone might be struggling with social media use. Behavioral changes include withdrawing from family and friends, having mood swings right after being online, being secretive about device use, sleeping with the phone in bed, and checking it constantly even when it hasn't buzzed with notifications. Then there are emotional signs that includes increased anxiety or depression, low self-esteem, talking negatively about appearance or body image, expressing fear of missing out, and crying or getting very upset after using social media. You might also notice academic or social impact like declining grades, loss of interest in hobbies that they used to enjoy before, avoiding in person activities, being tired during the day because of late night phone use, and having conflicts about device limits. Some signs require immediate action. Any talk of self harm or suicide, mentioning cyberbullying, contact from strangers online, sending or receiving explicit content, or having extreme emotional reactions to post or comments. If you notice multiple red flags in yourself or someone you care about, it's time to seek professional help. Next slide, please. So now we will move on to some solutions that can help you navigate all these problems. Next slide. So for teenagers, now let's talk about solutions. First is set boundaries. Use the time limit features built into your phone. iPhone has screen time and Android has digital well-being. Turn off non-essential notifications so you're not constantly pulled back to your phone. Schedule social media free time each day, even if it's just an hour. And keep phones out of the bedroom at night. Charge them in another room. Your sleep will thank you. Second is prioritize privacy. Set all your accounts to private. Review your privacy settings regularly because platforms change them often. Don't share your location and think before posting or ask yourself that would I be okay with anyone seeing this or could this be used against me? Third is curate your feed. This is really important. Unfollow accounts that make you feel bad about yourself. Follow accounts that post positive, uplifting, or educational content. Block and report people who bully or harass you. Don't engage with them. And limit exposure to content that triggers comparison or insecurity. Finally, and this is crucial, speak up. Tell trusted adults when something bothers you online. Report harassment immediately using the platform's tool. Support friends who are being bullied. Sometimes just knowing someone else sees what's happening makes a huge difference. And don't suffer in silence. There's no shame in asking for help. Next slide, please. Now, solutions for parents. So, if there are parents in the room, here's what they need to know. First and most important, open communications. Parents need to create judgment free conversations about online experiences. Instead of interrogating, they should ask questions like, what's your favorite app right now? Or have you seen anything online that made you uncomfortable? The goal is to make it safe for teens to come to them with problems. Second, set family guidelines together. Sit down as a family and agree on screen time limits, device free zones like dinner and bedrooms, and boundaries around appropriate content. When teens are involved in creating the rules, they are more likely to follow them. Third, use parental controls wisely. Instagram has teen account supervision features. TikTok has family pairing. YouTube has restricted mode. Discord can be set to only accept friend requests from people you know. But here's the key, these tools should support trust, not replace it. Too much surveillance damages the parent teen relationship, and hence these features should be used wisely. Fourth, parents need to educate themselves. They should understand the platform you are using. It's hard for parents to help if they don't know what Discord is or how TikTok works. Finally, parents need to model healthy behavior themselves. If they are constantly on their phones during family time, scrolling through Facebook at dinner, or checking work emails at midnight, they can't expect you to have healthy habits. Everyone in the family needs to participate in digital wellness. Now, Hitankshi will give some solutions with practical tools and resources.
So some tools to use to stay safe online are some of the built-in tools. Like for iPhone, we have the screen time, and for Android, we have the digital well-being. These tools are very crucial if you yourself want to monitor your screen time. And next, we have for Instagram, make sure to take a break and set reminders to take a break. And next, we have TikTok. TikTok has a screen time management, which makes it easy for you to not stay on TikTok for long periods of time. Next, some third-party apps you can download are Bark. Bark monitors multiple platforms and makes sure that you don't spend lots of time on those platforms, and sometimes it also scans apps to make sure they're safe for use. And Questo is a comprehensive app which controls and monitors your time and the safety of your apps. Next, we have NetNanny. It also filters your apps and controls your time limit to ensure that you are safe and to ensure that you stay off your phone and don't spend lots of time online. Next, we have Circle. It is a network-level control that controls all the apps on your phone and makes sure they are safe and ready for use, and it has a time management setting which you can use also to make sure you're not spending lots of time on your phone. But what is important is balance. Yes, it is good to spend time on your phone and be entertained and be aware of the world. But obviously, you should not spend lots of time on your phone and harm your mental, physical, and emotional health. So that is why balance is key. Next slide, please. Now I will be giving some tricks and tips for individual apps which you can use. Firstly, I'll start with Discord. Something that they can do when they're on this app is that they can have a look at the groups they want to join and see if there's an inappropriate content there, and if the group is really about the topic they want to discuss or a group to just spread hate. For example, if a child wants to join a Discord group about a show they like, they should check if the users in the group are discussing the show or the contents of the show or just hateful content. Next, for X, firstly, young kids should not be on this app because it is unnecessarily exposing them to hateful, hurtful people. But if they're on this app for whatever reason, then they should be careful with the people they interact with and not give them their real information like name, age, and more. Also, they should take every single information they're reading with a grain of salt, meaning they shouldn't believe everything they read or see on this app, in particular because a lot of people tend to lie on this app especially. Next app, please. Next, on Instagram, if kids want to message their favorite creator, they should double check their account to see if it is the right one they are directly messaging, because there are lots of fake accounts. And a big tip, they shouldn't have an Instagram account made public or one at all because it lowers the chances of anyone directly messaging them and asking for personal information or simply being hateful for the sake of being hateful. Next app, please. Now we have YouTube. The main problem with YouTube is that kids spend too much time on it and believe everything they see. Firstly, kids should remember that not everything is real on every single app they see, even their favorite ones, and that there is a life outside of their phones. Yes, YouTube is a great form of entertainment, but it should not hinder the ability of a child to think critically and grow. Next app. Now we have Roblox. The main problem with Roblox is kids interacting with adults through the chat boxes in the games and getting exposed to harmful content. I would suggest turning off the chat option, playing games which don't have the chat option, or simply being the better person and ignoring the chats. Also, not accepting each friend invite they receive and remembering this question. Is it really worth it to friend a bunch of people just to say you have a bunch of friends on this app? Or to be safer with people you can be sure are your real friends outside and inside of Roblox? Next app. Now let's talk about Twitch. One big tip is to not click on streams of unknown creators whom you don't know, because you could be exposed to intense swearing, harmful comments, and jokes. So stay away from creators and streams you're not sure about. Next app, please. Now we have Snapchat. One big tip for Snapchat is to not add random people as friends and not interact or talk to random people, because often those random people are older men trying to send harmful pictures to young teens. These cases happen all the time in North America and also in places around the world. Next app. Last up, we have TikTok. One main tip, similar to YouTube, is not to stay on this app for long periods of time, as it decreases your attention span and lowers your critical thinking abilities, proven by a science experiment done at the University of Yale. But one tip I want to give every teen is to not overshare on social media. Whether it's Snapchat or TikTok, never overshare because you never know the intentions of people behind the screen. Now I'm going to hand over to Damini to conclude this seminar.
Thank you, Hitankshi. So, before we close, I want to leave with you this important message. It's never too late to start healthier digital habits and take control of your online life. Next slide, please. Whether you are a teenager navigating these platforms, a parent trying to support your child, or an educator working with young people, remember three key actions. Protect your privacy and mental health, communicate openly with trusted adults about your online experiences, and support each other in the digital world. Social media is a tool. Just like any tool, it can be used well or poorly. You get to decide how you use it. Choose wisely, stay safe, and always prioritize your well-being over likes, followers, or online validation. And if you are someone you know who is struggling, and if you are someone or you know someone who is struggling, please reach out for help. For our Canadian audiences, here are some emergency hotline numbers. Next slide, please. And we also have some hotline numbers for our US audience. Next slide. You are not alone in this journey. Reach out, speak up, and let's work together to create a safer digital world for everyone. Thank you all for your attention today. I know this was a lot of information, but I hope you are walking away with both a better understanding of the risk and, more importantly, concrete actions you can take. Thank you. Now, I did love to open this up for questions and discussions.
Thank you, Damini and Hitankshi. It was wonderful and very informative. I open the floor for questions. Anybody, any questions, any suggestions, please come up with your questions. We are ready to answer. Or if you want to see anything more in future, like workshops, exact settings, what we need to do on our phones, we will be loving to do that in our next workshops. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, please shoot it up to us. Okay, let's put it forward in this way. Please unmute yourself and let us know how the session was. Let's start. I would not put a spotlight on anyone, but anybody who wants to give any feedback about the session, please let us know.
Hi all. Hi Tanshi and Dami. It was wonderful and it was so much information in this seminar. We could actually, I could actually get, I knew all these things, but it was all together and it revised me everything that I shouldn't do. Even Siddhi is there, one of my niece, and she is aware, she must be aware now what she shouldn't do, how much she should be aware using all these apps. Yes, what Varsha was saying before, it would be definitely helpful if we have a bigger audience and we could demonstrate what all. It's like a workshop, what all settings should be done and how we should be behaving in a practical session. That would help. Even mocking with two people talking, how it happens. If we can act that out, if also would be wonderful. Definitely, we cannot bring all the situations that are there in the world into one seminar or anything, but an idea of how it goes. So this is what I think would be grateful. Otherwise, this was a wonderful seminar. Thank you, both of you, so much for all this information that you have passed on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Any suggestions? Any questions? We note your suggestions, Ashad. We'll definitely come back with a workshop in upcoming future wherein we will be talking about individual settings while sharing our phone and really walking you through what exactly when we talk about privacy and not sharing means. Okay, with that, I really thank you everyone for taking up time on a weekend. I would like to conclude this seminar saying that we are not here to judge anyone. We are here to give support, and you are not alone in this journey. If you or anybody else is facing any kind of cyber frauds or cyberbullying or anything, CHS stands for you. You can always reach out to us on www.chssupport.org. You can find our helpline number. You can find our web tool wherein you can upload the videos, whether it's a AI morphed video or a real video, you can get it. It's on you know, like it takes 1 to 2 days to get it scanned. We are working towards making it real time. We are here to support you in every which way, but we are not a substitute of mental health professionals or lawmaking companies. We're just trying to complement them, guide you through with the real processes, and help you navigate this process. Thank you all, and thanks for joining in.
Thank you. Thank you for being a lovely audience.
Thank you, Damini.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you.
Hitachi. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.